Good morning. How's everybody doing today? Got a wonderful Monday ahead of us. I want to welcome you guys to today's Monday Morning Mastermind. We're going to do something a little different today that hopefully will be beneficial for everybody that's on here, because we really haven't gone in this direction beforehand, but I think it's sorely needed given the constant onslaught of negativity that we're all consumed with daily through the media and social media. It's just this constant barrage. Plus, you combine that with the difficulties of just daily life with what you guys are going through in your own personal lives. So we're gonna go in a little different direction today, but also have some added bonuses here at the end. So as we get started, let's go ahead and do a sound check. Can you guys let me know? There should be a question box or something over on the right-hand side. Is the audio too loud, blown out? Everything okay? If it is, let me know. Give me a sounds great, whatever, sounds terrible. All right, perfect. Okay, well, we'll give it another couple minutes here to let a couple more people get on, but in the interim, I don't know what you guys are doing today. We'll see how this eclipse thing turns out. I've got cloudy skies here, but we have looks like maybe a window of opportunity to see this thing for the kids. I've seen them before, but it'll be great for the kids to be able to see it. You guys have plans for that? You guys doing anything to see the eclipse today? Anybody? You gonna go outside? Did you go buy glasses? I'm gonna try to find some. They're all sold out everywhere, so we're gonna wing it. Looks like it's not even gonna make a difference based on the cloud cover that we've got here that's coming in over the Gulf. But okay, all right. So let's get into this. We still have people coming on here. And I'm sort of known for this, but not really known for this. I think people tend to focus sometimes on a lot of the crazy stuff that I do, with just sort of the branding that's kind of sort of developed by telling people the truth and the reality of what really goes on, how things actually really function in the real world, in real estate and business. But most people don't know some of the underlying processes that got me to where I am, and then after literally losing everything, helped me to bounce back and recover from that. Because if you've never been through that experience, I mean, it's hell. It's a living hell when you go through a very, very public and ugly $4.5 million bankruptcy and get sued, and all of your friends. I mean, you find out who your friends are real quick. Let me tell you. When you don't have any money, that's when you find out who your friends are. Okay, so if you guys don't know that, you'll figure it out very quickly. People you think are your friends, sadly, you find out really are not. You find out a lot of times that people are out there for their own, they have their own motives and their own agenda a lot of times. So it becomes a very painful experience, and you compound all that with, losing houses, having no money coming in, getting cell phones turned off, cars repossessed, people banging on your door, sheriffs coming by, process servers, all this stuff showing up. It's not a very pleasant experience, and something that I wouldn't wish on anybody. But I started out, you guys don't know this, from the wrong side of the tracks in Ocala, Florida, single parent family, dining room of a one-bedroom apartment that was maybe 800 square feet, if that, was my bedroom. So there's no door, there's no closet, there's nothing like that. I had a pass-through to the bar until I was 17 years old and joined the military. And I literally slept on about a 4-inch roll-up. You guys don't remember the old roll-away beds? They fold up in the middle. That mattress off of that was my bed until I was about 17. And finally, later on in life, had a little different experiences. But at that point, you've grown up that way. If you guys, anybody, I don't know if you guys have what your experience is in growing up and what you were subjected to. The challenge that I witnessed daily in not only the education system, which is an oxymoron in and of itself, because it is not an education system, it's an indoctrination system into a certain way of life and a certain way of thinking so they can create great obedient workers. If you guys don't know that quote from Rockefeller when he founded the General Education Board, he said, "I don't want a nation of thinkers, I want a nation of workers." And so the General Education Board became the U.S. Department of Education, and that is what they have desired to create ever since then, is good, mindless, zombie slave workers that are, and George Carlin has a whole thing on this if you guys haven't seen it. I mean, he hits the nail right on the head. You know, they want people just smart enough to push the buttons and fill out the paperwork, and just dumb enough to be satisfied with it and go home at the end of the day and mind my shout on TV and social media and video games and everything else. And that's what they've created. They've created a society that's like that. That's not, if you're here, that's not who you want to be. Okay? I'm assuming that's the case. Otherwise, you wouldn't be wasting time on here. So I'm going to show you, here in just a couple seconds, the key that how does somebody like me, who came from nothing, okay, very, very bad environment, came from that, and then ended up dropping out of high school when I was 16. Okay, I was making more money at that time than my teachers were. Of course, I was working 2 and 3 jobs, keeping things going, but I was making more money than them. And I just was, I'm like, okay, what's the point of this? I don't really understand the point of this, sitting here for 2 more years, wasting all, 8 hours a day, 9 hours a day, 10 hours a day with homework and everything else, to get some piece of paper that isn't going to do me any good in life because I'm not going to college anyway. So, like, what's the point? I want to really go out and make money, and so that's what I ended up doing. Now, what they ended up doing at that time, for those of you who haven't heard the story before, I had a really nice guidance counselor that, there's this whole mindset, you got to get this piece of paper because it means something. And I'm telling you, it doesn't, okay? I have never once been asked for my high school diploma in the history of my life, okay? Not once, never, okay? To this day, never been asked for it. See a copy of it. I don't even have a copy of it. I've never had a copy of it. And I'll explain to you why that is. Before we even get into this, I'm not putting down actual education, okay? Right? True knowledge. You have to be a constant seeker of knowledge. True knowledge, though, not this garbage they want to teach you in the public education system or the state-sanctioned education system, whether it's universities or not. I'm talking about actual education. Absolutely 1,000% for that. That's a big reason why I am where I am and why I have the abilities that I do, is because I'm like, leaders are readers, okay? Leaders are learners. I tell my sons this all the time. Leaders are readers. Leaders are learners. You've got to get the education, okay? You've got to get the education that you're going to need to accomplish what it is that you want to accomplish. And sadly, this stuff is not taught in any educational platform, okay? You're not going to go to Harvard and learn this stuff. They know how to charge you $100 grand a year to go there, but you're not going to go there and learn the stuff that you can learn right now in the next 10, 15 minutes that can help catapult you and propel you into 6 and 7 figures. Okay, that's not what they teach. They teach you to be a good, obedient worker, right? That's the whole purpose of a degree. Go get that student loan debt so you can become a great, obedient worker. And essentially, the purpose of the public indoctrination system is to literally beat the critical thinking skills out of you and put you in this state of absolute lack of hope, this mouse on a wheel, spinning, running, churning constantly, okay? So that you're, it's like this constant depressive state, and then they compound that with all this nonsense in the media. Okay, CNN, what does that stand for? Constantly negative news. It's never positive stuff, it's never great stuff. It's and you watch the bright, shiny object syndrome that they go through with, one story after another. Okay, who's the next? All this fear-mongering nonsense of all these fake groups that are going to come, boogeymen, they're going to come get you. And it's all nonsense, okay? So you have to be able to guard your mind from all this stuff so you can focus on what's truly important and what's going to make a difference in your life, because they don't want you to be successful, okay? You guys need to understand that. The only person that wants you to be successful is me and you, and that's it. Nobody else, okay? Media doesn't want you. The government doesn't want you to be successful. That's why they disincentivize you to make money by increasing your tax rate the more money you make. It's complete reversal. You guys don't understand how that functions. Never been in 6 or 7 figure tax brackets. It's totally reversed. Okay, the people who make the most money are taxed at the highest rate. How does that incentivize them to go out there and build businesses to be able to hire other people? I mean, it doesn't make any sense, but that's the way it is. Why? You got to look at this system that we're in. Okay, it's not designed to create what we're trying to create here. What are we trying to create here? We are trying to create independent thinking, critical thinking, self-employed 6 and 7 figure income earners who have complete freedom of time, location, and schedule. What does that mean? It means you're making money, you're doing it virtually, you can do it from anywhere, you're generating passive income, and you're generating multiple streams of income. So when the ebbs and flows of industries go up and down, like they're about to do here in the next, I don't know what the exact timing is, next 6 months, next year, next 2 years, next 3 years, it's going to be another massive disruption that's coming. The writing is already on the wall, then you're still going to be okay because you're not tied to that one income stream. Okay? But they don't teach you this stuff, right? What are you supposed to do? Get good grades so you can get a high school diploma, so you can go to a good college and get in student debt, right? So you can then get a good job that you're not guaranteed, okay, at the end of that period of time. So now you're out of college, you got student loans, got to pay those student loans off, and there's no job for whatever the degree is in. Okay, it does not map, Gary Vaynerchuk has a whole rant on that. It does not map. That whole process does not map to 6 and 7 figure income earning. Okay, it just doesn't. There's no guarantee of anything. And again, they're teaching you the skills you need to get a piece of paper so that you can go build somebody else's dream. That's it. That's what they teach. Okay, and that's not what you're here to learn. That's not what I'm here to teach you. So the very first thing that we need to do, we're going to cover on this is we're going to cover this, and we haven't really done a deep dive into this before. Mindset, motivation, and money. Okay, money's going to be the last thing we cover because that's really what you guys are all here for. But to get to money, we got to fix your mindset. We've got to adequately motivate you, okay, so that you know it's all possible, so that you can get to the money here at the very end. And that's what I'm going to show you how to do. I'm going to show you how did I do that. No college degree, no high school diploma. Okay, how do I, me, this guy here, how did I get to a point where I was able to make 6 and 7, generate 6 and 7 figures in revenue, okay, independently, without having what society says is needed? And how can you do the same, which is really more important? And the bottom line is mindset. Okay, it all boils down to mindset. Okay. So as I was growing up in a very, I guess, lack-based, poor environment, if you want to call it that. I mean, we didn't have like a lot of excess funds lying around for sure. I can show you how to cook ramen noodles like a banshee. Okay, you haven't had ramen noodles until I've cooked them for you. I can promise you that. And I'm not even talking about the good name brand ramen noodles. I'm talking about the generic ones. Okay, at least that's where we were at. We were eating those generic ramen noodles, ones that didn't even have the name brand ramen noodles on them. So that's where we started. And so what happened? Well, I decided very quickly in life that I did not like that station in life. And I used to go to the bookstore all the time. And at the front of the bookstore, they always have magazines up there, right? They're always trying to do that last pitch sale, that impulse buy of those magazines that are at the counter. And I used to pick up 2 of them all the time. One of them is called the Robb Report, and the other is the DuPont Registry, if you guys have never seen those. Well, these 2 magazines go through what extremely wealthy people have the ability to purchase and experience: houses, cars, jets, vacations, clothing, watches, you name it. I mean, it's all the creme de la creme of what the very best can buy, okay? And for me, okay, and this goes back into mindset, right? Mindset, let's talk about this for a second. For me, here I am, I got no money, right? Living in this bad situation, no father around, okay? Father's an alcoholic, right? Ran off somebody else, unpaid child support, so I started having to, started working, when I was a kid, and then started paying all the bills at the age of 14, working multiple jobs, having to still go to school. That's why I finally quit at 16. Couldn't stay awake in class all day, staying up all night, working as a busboy at a local restaurant to get, the hourly rate plus tips, and falling asleep in Algebra 2 during the daytime because I couldn't keep my eyes open from being up all night. So, you go through, we got to talk about your mindset and what they're not teaching you. And that is, if it's up to me, it's up to me, right? So instead of, when I saw those magazines, instead of looking at them and seeing all of this just grandeur and these mansions and these Ferraris and Lamborghinis and Patek Philippe watches and all of the stuff that was just fantastic, instead of saying, this is what most people do, okay? You guys need to be conscious of this. What most people do is their brain instantly clicks, okay? Well, I could never afford that, or I'm not worthy of that, right? There's no way I could ever have that because that's not my station in life. And that is what most people go through when they see that type of stuff. If I show you this car right here that you're looking at, it's a Ferrari LaFerrari, okay? $1 million car. $1 million car. Think about that for a second. Only seats 2 people, $1 million car. I can show you how to get this, okay? I could get this if I wanted to. I don't want to get it because I'd kill myself in the damn thing, because I wouldn't be able to control myself, because it's, you know, the power of this thing, I just wouldn't be able to stop. So, and I know that about myself, which is why I don't have one. But anyway, the mindset that most people have is that they either aren't good enough, aren't worthy enough, could never make that kind of money, would never be in that type of position. It's this compounded negativity, stuff that you got from your parents, stuff that you got from school, stuff that you got from, you know, TV programs, and they're called programs for a reason. All of this stuff that you harbor internally on the inside that just so slowly destroys your soul and who you really are, okay? Because you can do, have, and be anything that you want. The key is you got to make a decision, a couple of decisions, and then you have to take action on those things. And so I would sit there and look at these things in the magazines and say, okay, wow, that's, you know, that's how I want my life to be. These are the things that I want. I want the very best, and I'm willing to, and this is the key here, and I used to tell myself this, when you think about this now, 13, 14 years old, okay? Already making money, working, already have that work ethic built in, because that was the only way I was ever going to get out of that situation. I already knew that. Nobody was going to provide me any kind of leg up. I didn't have any connections and nothing. And I would sit there and I'd be like, okay, you know, I'm worth this, and I will do whatever it takes, legally, ethically, morally, obviously, to have my life be like this, to be able to have and afford the very best of everything, because I'm worth that. Most people don't feel that way, okay? Most people feel unworthy. They have been beaten down by their parents. Oh, you think money grows on trees? All the stupid things that parents do to kids as they're growing up, to the point that they don't understand and realize that they can have anything they want. They can be anything they want. They can do anything they want. But you've got to get those shackles off of your brain, off of your soul. And I'm not talking about, you know, spiritual mumbo jumbo here or whatever. You guys need to understand how this stuff actually functions, okay? There's a story I was told a long time ago. I've used this on a couple of webinars, and nothing could be more accurate, okay? You guys need to understand, most people have never done any type of study of how the brain actually functions, okay? So you have two different consciousness. You have a conscious mind, which is what you're using right now. You're all awake. Some of you are attentive, some of you are not. Some of you are playing Candy Crush while you're on here, not paying attention, listening in. And then you have your subconscious mind, okay? So you have 2 minds, conscious and subconscious. Your conscious mind is only on when you're awake, okay? It's the thing that keeps you alive, keeps you, you know, lets you know when you're hungry, when you're thirsty, when you need to go do something. It's the thing that gives you fear, that gives you desire, that does all of those things. Your subconscious mind is on 24/7. It never shuts down, okay? Even when you're sleeping, it never stops working. And if you don't understand how that functions, this is why, I don't want to get off on the religious tangent here. This is why the Bible talks about being very careful what you put in your brain, because your brain is going to be constantly processing this stuff over and over and over and over. And that's why the media, with all this negativity, they constantly want it. It's like, you know, frequency and repetition. That's what marketing is, or successful marketing. Frequency and repetition. It's the same thing with all the negativity in the media. Frequency and repetition. Bad, bad, bad. Fear, fear, fear. Okay? They just keep hitting you with this stuff over and over and over and over again, because they're trying to pierce through, get to that pineal gland and get to your subconscious brain, so you get consumed with this kind of stuff, and you can't do that. You've got to be very cognizant of what you allow to get inside your head, okay? Now, you are the master. You need to understand that. You are the master and the controller of both your conscious and your subconscious. What happens with most people, okay, and I would venture to guess that 99% of the people that are on this today are guilty of this. What happens to most people is they don't control and they don't program their subconscious mind, okay? And so what happens? It gets programmed for them. It's programmed for them by the school system, by the parents, by the media, Okay, all this negative bombardment constantly, and that's what happens. Now, if you don't understand, and I'll give you a quick thing on this here real fast. Your subconscious mind, like I said, it's constantly working, and it's either your best friend or your worst enemy. It really is all up to you. Okay, you're the one that has to control it. If you don't, it'll be controlled for you. That's kind of the whole point. So you need to be the master of your subconscious mind. And I'm going to show you how to do that, and I'll show you exactly how this functions. So if you don't believe in or understand how the subconscious brain works, all you have to think about is this, and I know this has happened to everybody that's on here today, is, okay, you were trying to remember something while you were awake, okay, or some answer to something, some form of something. Couldn't remember it. You went to sleep, okay, you woke up, and bam, hit you like a lightning bolt. There's the answer you were looking for. Why did that happen? Well, that happened because your subconscious brain, your subconscious mind, was working, going through your file directory in your brain all night long until it got that information, and it pulled it out and extracted it, and it brought it forward. That's what happens, okay? Likewise, you hear people say, oh, I got the song, I can't get the song out of my head. That's your subconscious mind, okay? It's been programmed. And now what is it doing? It's regurgitating and repeating exactly what it's been programmed to do. This song. Over and over and over and over, okay? So you have to control it, because if you don't, it's going to be controlled for you. And so what we want to do is we want to fill it with the right directives, with the right instructions, with the right positive information daily, okay, to counteract this poison that is being fed constantly at every opportunity by virtually everybody that you know. By every media outlet that there is. That's their sole purpose. If you guys don't understand the news media, there's an expression, if it bleeds, it leads. Why? People are naturally attracted, which is psychotic, but it's the way it works, naturally attracted to bad things, right? Okay, go car wreck. Let's see what happened. What's the car look like? Anybody get killed? Whatever. Horrible stuff. Train wreck, right? All these bad things, people they want to see that. That stuff festers, okay? So you got to be real careful with, I don't watch the news. I don't want to, whatever. That stuff, you guys need to understand this. All the stuff you see on the media, 99.9% of it's all farcical. It's all theater, staged for the sheeple, okay? It's not true. It's not accurate in the sense that they're telling you, oh, these people are doing this, and it's like all this stuff with these riots and everything else. That's all staged, okay? You got crisis actors out there doing all this stuff because it's good media. It gets ratings. It scares the sheep, right? So they can have more of their right script away. That's the sole purpose of all this. You guys understand how the government actually works. They passed this thing with the Patriot Act, this most recent Patriot Act revision, and this has been around for a long time, where the CIA can now dictate what the media puts out there, and they're now legally allowed to lie to you. Okay, this is all law. It's not some kind of conspiracy theory. It's all out there. It's on the books. You can find it. I'll post it to the Facebook group so you guys can see this. So you understand, when you watch this stuff on TV, you got to discard 99%. Don't even watch it. Okay, that's what I'm going to tell you. Don't even watch it, because if you weren't watching it, would you know about it? Would it have any impact on your life? The answer to that, no. Okay? Why do we all know about this eclipse? Because we saw it somewhere on TV or on social media. That's the only reason I know about it. It's like, I'm not tracking eclipses. Like, what impact does it have on my life? None. Okay, so be very, very careful and conscious with that when you're watching this stuff. Okay, now here's the bad part about, and we'll get back to the subconscious mind here in a second. But you got to understand this, and this is not being negative, right? But you need to understand the challenge that we're dealing with, and that is that everything worthwhile in life is hard. One of my mentors told me this 30 years ago. Everything worthwhile in life is hard. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it, right? People take the path of what? People take the path of what? Least resistance, okay? That's why they get comfortable and they work slave jobs for somebody else. And instead of doing what they need to do to get out of them, most of the time, they screw around on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or Snapchat or whatever, right? Go watch movies, go do all kinds of other stuff that really does not help benefit them. But it keeps them in that mental, that mental coma, that comfortably numb sensation, because their brain, that subconscious mind, is constantly being given stuff to work on, but it's not stuff that's good for you. It does not help you, okay? So you guys need to understand how this works. Now, hang on. close all this down because we're internet here is screwed up today because of the cloud cover, which makes no sense since we're on broadband cable, but that's what happens here. Anyway, okay, so hopefully everybody's back. Does it sound still okay? All right. So once you understand that everything that's worthwhile in life is hard, and you can sort of understand that and assimilate that and say, okay, it's going to be hard, and I'm not telling you it's going to be easy, but what I'm telling you is it's going to be worth it. Okay, and you need to understand that. You need to understand that it is worth the struggle. It is worth the hustle. It is worth the grind to make six figures. Okay, to have freedom of location, to have freedom of schedule. Okay, to have freedom of time to do what you want when you want. That is true wealth. Okay, that's what you're looking for. And I'm telling you, it's worth it. Okay, now you're going to have to make the determination of if it's worth it for you, or if you would prefer to go work for somebody else. The opportunities are out there. You got 20-some-odd-year-old kids making millions on the internet. There's no reason that you can't do it too, but you got to put the work in. Okay, you're going to have to put the work in. Getting educated, controlling your brain, right? Action daily, setting your goals, how to eat an elephant plan, bite-sized chunks, right? Daily action to get to where you want to be. And this is what I had to do. This is what I have to do, constantly. So is it easy? It becomes easy. It's like anything else, like playing golf, okay? When you first start playing golf, it's hard as hell. It's painful how hard golf is when you first start playing. For those of you who played golf, you know what I'm talking about. It is painful how hard it is because it looks so easy on TV. You go out there and you hit a divot 27 feet and the ball's still right there with you. It's like, it's infuriating where you hit it and it goes, 200 yards to the left. Very, very aggravating and frustrating, okay? But once you have finally gotten through the frustration part, you've climbed that mountain, you've done what was necessary, it's fantastic. You love it. Okay, when you can, if you haven't played golf, you may not understand the reference, but when you can go out there and you hit that ball and you can land it on the green, okay, it's fantastic. It's a great feeling. It's a feeling of accomplishment. It's a lot of fun, but it's not easy. Okay, it's not. There's nobody that's naturally gifted at golf. You don't just walk out there and start playing like a pro. It doesn't work that way. Sadly, I wish it did, but it doesn't. So once you understand everything worthwhile in life is hard, okay. Now we're going to take that, we're going to assimilate that and say, okay, we got that. So we already understand the work ethic and the challenge that we're going to have on a daily basis. And we assimilate that to the point that it now is not the hurdle and the struggle. It's not that mental barrier that becomes that trap, okay, that pitfall because, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. Well, we're going to accept that fact, okay? We're going to accept the fact that if it was easy to make $500,000 a year, $1 million a year, $200,000 a year. If it was easy to do that, then everybody would be doing that. We know they aren't. Right? Why aren't they? Because it's not easy. It's hard. But it gets easier. Okay? The more you do it, the easier it gets. And that's what you guys are going to have to get to. All right? So I'm going to tell you the story about the genie, okay? And we'll talk a little bit about your self-talk here. Okay? This is the thing I tell my kids constantly. When you talk about how did I go from nothing to where I am now, this is the mindset right here. It's never I can't. It's never I can't. Okay? It's always how can I. So, you got no money. How do you get this car right here? Right? Is your first reaction, I said, okay, look, I'm gonna give you 7 days to get this car. You got no money, we're gonna chop your head off. Is your first thought, I can't, right? Or is your first thought, how can I? Give me 7 days to get this car. Okay? I can tell you how to do it very easily, but nonetheless, that's for you guys to figure out, right? You've got to get out of the mindset of the instant, bam, because this is what most people do is bam, instantly they see something, I can't do that because I'm not good enough, not thin enough, not wealthy enough, don't have the right friends, don't have the right job, don't have the right husband, wife, don't have the this, don't live in the right location, well, whatever it is, You know, didn't have the right upbringing, don't have the right college degree, don't have the whatever. It's just, bam, I can't do that, right? You've got to get out of that mindset, okay? It should never be I can't, okay? You got to reverse that thinking, get your brain activating and working, and think critically, okay? They were going to cut my head off in 7 days if I didn't have them in this car. What would I do? Okay? It's not I can't do it. I got to do it. So how can I do it? Does that make sense to you guys? I hope that makes sense to you guys, because that's the mindset of winners. This is how you win. It's never I can. It's always how can I? How can I? And you shift your thinking, okay? And it becomes what I do daily. It's improvise, adapt, overcome. Okay, that's we talk about my mantra. How did I get where I am? It's improvise, adapt, overcome. I got that from Heartbreak Ridge, Clint Eastwood, right before I went in the military. Improvise, adapt, overcome. That's ingrained in my brain. Okay, improvise, adapt, overcome. I don't care what the hurdle is. I don't care what the obstacle is. How do I get through it, over it, under it, around it, teleport it to the other side, whatever. Never I can't. How can I? I'm going to improvise. I'm going to adapt. I'm going to overcome to be able to get there. Okay, and that's what you guys have got to do. Now, here's the story of the genie and the subconscious mind and how it actually works, and then we're going to get into. We'll talk about the reticular activating cortex here in a second, so you can understand. If you guys have never studied your brain and psychology and how things work, you got to understand this. I mean, this thing controls you, your brain. Okay, your body is simply a vehicle, a vessel to cart your brain around. You understand that? That's the sole purpose of your body, to move that brain around. Okay. They don't teach you about your brain. They don't teach you how to control your brain. They don't teach you the power that your brain has. And that sounds like a lot of probably psychobabble, but once you understand this and you can get rid of that negative mindset, that lack mindset, that victim mindset. Oh, we can talk about that till the cows come home with all this racist nonsense they keep spouting all over TV, trying to keep that going on the victim because of racism. You know, you got to get rid of all that stuff, okay? Just no. The answer is no. We're not listening to that, okay? That nothing, doesn't matter. I don't care that people like you, they don't like you, whatever it is. The opportunities are out there. Nobody knows what color you are on the internet unless you put a profile pic up, okay? So there's your level playing field if you're concerned about racism. Forget it. You don't have to be a victim, okay? So you've got to eliminate all of these self-limiting, self-defeating beliefs. You're going to have to reprogram your brain because you have to believe in order to achieve. You have to do that. Notice all this stuff is cliche stuff, but it's never a bad idea to hear good information again with the bombardment that you get on a daily basis of all of this negative junk that's all over the internet and all over the TV and the radio and billboards and everywhere you turn, every time you turn around, okay? So what do you guys need to do? You got to start now. You must start now. You've got to start retraining your brain today. Got to do it. You've got to believe that you can do it because you can, right? Who am I? Who am I? Am I better than you? In what way? How am I better than you? I'm a person. You're a person. What do I have that you don't have? The only thing I have that you don't have is my brain. We all have bodies, we got hearts, we got blood, you got organs, it's all the same stuff. So the difference in all of this really is our brain. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense to you guys, right? There's nothing special about me that I've got some superpower that you guys don't have other than I understand psychology and the brain and how it functions. And that's what I'm trying to impart with you today so we can get you positive, we can get you motivated, we can get you moving in the right direction, okay? Shielding yourself from all this junk that they want to tell you so they can keep you enslaved and depressed and afraid as not who you are meant to be, okay? Not who you're meant to be. You are meant to be victors, not victims, warriors, wealthy, happy, abundant. That is your life, but you have to claim that. And the only way you're ever going to be able to claim that is to get control. You get control of the genie. The genie, who's the genie? What's the genie? Here's the story of the genie. I'll tell you this, somebody told me this roughly 20 years ago, I guess. Okay, so guy walking along the beach, gets a magic lamp, rubs the magic lamp, out pops the genie. And the genie says, I will grant you any and every wish you want. But the catch is, you must keep me busy. If you don't keep me busy, I will cut your head off with my sword. Okay, so the guy sits back, thinks about it, says, fantastic. So he starts off with his wish list. Okay, I want this new mansion, I want cars, I want a beautiful woman, I want money, I want blah, blah, blah. And eventually he runs out of all of the wishes. And here comes the genie to cut his head off. He's like, wait. He's like, look, I told you, I will grant you any and every wish you want, but you must keep me busy or I'm going to cut your head off. Okay? So the guys kick back, think very quickly, start on a whole nother path of wishes that he wants. He finally wishes for the genie to build a staircase to the sky. And then he wishes for the genie to continue to run up and down the staircase until he's ready for his next wish. And he has to outthink the genie, keep the genie busy doing what he wants him to do so he doesn't get his head cut off. Now, who is the genie? The genie is your subconscious mind. Okay? And the genie, your subconscious brain, will give you any and every wish that you want. This is real. It's not hocus pocus. The genie will give you whatever wish that you want, but you have to program it correctly, and you have to keep it busy. And what do you have to keep it busy on? Positive stuff. Positive stuff that takes you in the direction of the goals that you've got. Okay? So when we talk about getting control, you need to understand this. You hear the whole garbage in, garbage out thing all the time, right? Well, the subconscious brain works this way. It's gold in, gold out. Okay? That's what you want. We don't want garbage in, garbage out, so we're going to protect the subconscious mind from all the garbage, the negativity, the fear, the time wasting. We're going to protect it from all of that, and we're going to get it working for us on the positive objectives, the things that you want. The way that we do that is through a number of methods. One, you're going to have goals. If you don't have goals, you got nothing. You're just treading water. Okay? You're treading water. Less than 3% of the population has goals. Is it any wonder that 97% of the population works for somebody else? Not really. Okay? Any wonder that 97% of the population owns 3% of the wealth, 3% of the population owns 97%? Not really. Because most people have zero emotional or psychological control. Okay? They just don't have it. And they've never been trained properly on how to get it so that they can get the subconscious brain on turbocharge and moving in the direction of what they want. Okay, so you're going to you have to get your goals going. And I'm going to tell you this whole thing with the law of attraction. Does it work? Absolutely, it does. It absolutely works. And here's how you know it works. What is the law of attraction? The law of attraction is your subconscious brain. Okay, they're not going to tell you that because it's not as sexy as what's that book, The Secret, whatever. But the law of attraction is your brain, is your subconscious mind. And so what happens is this: when your subconscious mind is programmed correctly, you're putting positive stuff into it. You're saying your mantra, your daily affirmations. Okay, so it's like working out. So you're going to work out. You're going to have to do your curls and your bench press and military press and your squats and all this. And you do these things to build up your muscles, but what are you doing to build up your mind? Number one, your conscious mind with education, with books and reading, subconscious mind with what you're feeding it, okay? How you're moving it in the direction that it needs to be. And I'll show you exactly how this works in real life. So, and I'm sure this has happened it's happened to everybody that's on here. You have this thing that's called the reticular activating cortex. And if you guys don't know what that is, you can look it up. And the way the reticular activating cortex works, when we start talking about the law of attraction again, is that the reticular activating cortex is going to constantly, it's like laser focused. It's a laser focus on one thing and one thing only. And that is whatever it is that you want at that moment in time. Okay? Whatever it is that you're telling about. So, as an example, you're in the market for a new car. And let's say, I don't know which vehicle it is, but you like the red Ferrari. Well, Now, every time you see a red Ferrari, bam, you're going to notice that your brain's going to pick up on that because it's out there. It's actively, it's on the search and destroy, mission. Okay, where is this thing? Okay, it's the same thing with, if you like, whatever your thing is, okay, that you're focused on. Your reticular activating cortex is going to bring that to the forefront constantly as you're out and about, as you're doing things. You'll see that same car over and over and over again, whether it's on the road or in whatever, because you're attracted to it. Okay, you're attracted to it because you want it, and that's the way your reticular activating cortex works. Okay, you start thinking about, I want a new Ford pickup truck. Well, guess what? Now all you see when you're out is new Ford pickup trucks. Okay, same exact thing. There is no difference. It just depends on what it is that you're focused on. What your subconscious mind wants, the reticular activating cortex is going to find. Okay, so when we talk about how do you get what you want, very first thing you're going to have to do is decide what you want. Make it a goal, okay? Smart goals, right? Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. So you're going to have to be time-bound. I want this by this point, right? And then daily action plan, how to eat an elephant, daily action plan. How do we get to that point? What do we have to do? What are the little bite-sized steps we have to do every single day to move in that direction, right? And then you got to program your brain to give that to you, to bring it to you, to bring it in. You're going to get attracted to that. And Wendy and I did this years ago. We sat around, going back to 2003. I was in mortgage banking at the time. And I was coming off of a shift from going from if you guys understand this, a boiler room type thing, even though I had a private office and all that, but it was a boiler room situation where we were doing a lot of non-conforming and subprime deals, but all the leads were generated for us since they were all coming from advertising, right? Didn't have to generate my own leads. All I had to do was answer the phone and close. And ended up shifting from that to 100% referral based, and started struggling initially when making that shift. And this is the latter part of 2003, going into 2004. And I went to this training class in Atlanta, and they honed in on, after we did the disc profile and all that, they honed in on a lot of the stuff that I'm covering with you right now, what exactly you have to do, right, to get where you want to be, right? You got to get rid of, you got to find out what your personality is, okay? Or you're an over-prepare, and I found out I was what they call an over-preparer. I prepare, and not take action immediately, so I had to start overcoming that and said, okay, I'm not going to over-prepare, I'm just going to, it's going to be ready, fire, aim, not ready, aim, fire, okay? And that's what I had to start doing, just, bam, this is what I want, go for it, and then, pick up the chips afterwards if you have to, but this is the way, so that I don't over-prepare. It's like the analysis paralysis thing that analyticals get into. I have the over-prepare thing because I want things to be perfect. I've got that brain. I want everything to be, perfect. And there's no such thing as perfect. It's, progress, not perfection. So you get through all these things. And I go through this course, and it was Thanksgiving week where we were off for like 4 days for the weekend in 2003. And we sat around for those 4 days. We wrote out our goals, what we wanted. We started writing out our action plans, and then I hit this training in Atlanta right thereafter. And then 2004 came along, and I hit over $200,000 in revenue in a single month. Okay, one of the goals that we had that we wrote down was that there was a subdivision that we wanted to build a house in. That affording it would have been questionable based on the sort of the up and down roller coaster income, especially starting out in a new line of work. But so we wrote the goal down. This is what we want. Okay, we used to drive through the subdivision all the time. We could see ourselves. We envisioned ourselves being in this subdivision. And they had two different levels of homes. They had one that were like, I don't know what they call it. They were. They had like courtyards built in around them, this kind of thing. They were not as big as the bigger 3 stories with basements and all that. So we had 2-story homes that had built in real nice courtyards, and then they were like in the 450 range or so. And then you had the big 3-story traditional Atlanta house that started like right in the 600,000s or so. But we had our goal. We had we want this little $450,000 house is what we want. So we're gonna set the goal to get that. We wrote the goal down, put the action plan in place. I went to the training, got my mind right, which is the whole purpose of this webinar today, to help you get your mind right so you can move in the right direction. And then we started working on how to eat an elephant plan, how to get there. And then set all those goals, action, consistent action, bam. Well, what do we end up buying? Do we buy the little house? No. Mm-mm. What ended up happening was we put ourselves in a position and was able to get the big one, the big 3-story house with the basement and the built-in, above the sound systems and stainless steel wine refrigerators and, California, $30,000 worth of California closets, and had a faux painter come in and do all the crazy faux painting all throughout the house. I mean, so we had it's truly a custom thing. And then we, dropped, I don't know, 100 some odd grand in furniture and decor and all this. And it's just, the realization of this dream, of this goal. But it all began with getting the mind right, getting the subconscious brain programmed right, constantly feeding the subconscious brain with that goal that I wanted. Okay, I want this goal. This is what I want. Okay, and then taking it to the next step, to that daily action plan on how to get there, believing it, seeing it. I know a lot of this stuff sounds like mumbo jumbo, but I'm telling you, it works. Okay, works a hell of a lot better than watching TV and having them tell you what to think. And that's how we ended up doing it. Okay, that's how I ended up going from the income that I was at to the income I ended up being at. And then same thing when I bounced back after losing everything. All of this stuff, this is how you do it, right? But they don't teach you this stuff in school. They're going to teach you stuff on the internet. They're not going to teach you anything they can to help benefit you, but you're going to have to take control. Most of you will not do that, okay? I'm telling you right now, I know for a fact you won't. It's unfortunate. It's sad. It hurts me to watch what people do. Like, they say one thing and then they do something totally different. They got all the time in the world to waste time on Facebook where they don't have it monetized. They're not making any money from it. Wanting to get out of slave jobs and everything else. But this is how you do it, okay? This is what you're going to have to do if that's truly what you want and if you're not kidding yourself, right? So, very, very simple, but you're going to have to get control of your subconscious brain. Got to get control of it. You got to get control of it right now. You got to start feeding it the right information, okay, so that it's working for you 24/7. Otherwise, it's cutting your head off every single day. And that's what happens with most people. That's why they live, what Brian Tracy says are lives of quiet desperation. That's the life of most of the people you know. They live lives of quiet desperation. They're not genuinely happy, right? Nobody wants to go work for somebody else and waste all that time and energy and effort. Would you rather be at the beach today like I am, sitting here looking at the Gulf of Mexico right now, or having to go slave away for somebody else? The choice is yours, and you can have it. But you got to believe. You got to believe it, and you got to start, gold in, gold out. Not garbage in, garbage out. Gold in, gold out. Let's fill it with gold. Okay, that's what we want. So let's talk about the real definition of genius, okay? Because everybody has their own concept here, and this is very important for you guys to understand. Hopefully, this will help each of you realize that you have the ability to be a genius, a literal genius. Now, I'm not talking about figurative. I'm not talking about funny business. I'm talking about an actual bona fide genius. Because let me tell you what the actual definition of a genius is. People think it has something to do with IQ. It has nothing to do with IQ. Okay? Now, I have a 184 IQ, for whatever that means to whoever's listening, which is genius level, okay, by whoever it is that developed intelligence quotient, okay? For whatever that's worth. How and why do I have that? Who the hell knows, man? I don't know how they grade that stuff. What I do know is this: I'm a constant learner, and I test really well with standardized tests, okay? So in the gifted programs or advanced placement, whatever you want to call them in school. But it's because I'm a voracious reader, okay, voracious learner, love to learn. Most people don't. They hate it. They don't pick up books. They don't read books. They're not there to learn anything else. And so that would be my answer as to why. It's not like it certainly isn't genetic. I can tell you that much. It has to do with the internal desire to learn. Okay. Now let's talk about what the real definition of a genius is. It has nothing to do with IQ. The real definition of a genius is someone who can solve problems in a way that is different from the majority. That is the definition, the actual true definition of a genius. It has nothing to do with your intelligence. It has to do with, do you have the ability to solve problems, take apart the pieces, put them back together to solve the problem in a way that's outside what the masses do? That is the definition of a genius. That's what I do, okay? looking for, again, not I can't, how can I? How can I do this? How can we solve this problem? How can we get this $1 million Ferrari in the next 7 days so I don't get my head chopped off? How can we do all those things? How do we solve that problem? And it would be a way that's not the same as what everybody else is going to do, okay? Everybody else is going to try to force a square peg in the round hole, and it doesn't work that way. So you need to understand that you all have the ability, if you aren't already, you all have the ability to be a genius. I mean, a literal genius. You do. You have that ability right now. You have to embrace that. You have to choose that. And the only way that you're going to be able to do that is, once again, you've got to get control of your brain, of the demons that are talking to you because they're constantly chirping at you, all this negativity, all this stuff. You can't do this. You're not rich enough. You're not good looking enough. You're not whatever. Get rid of all that stuff. Okay? Get control. Choose to be a genius. Choose to be the problem solver. Okay? That dissects, takes things apart, looks at the finds the solution. Okay? You've got to be able to find that solution. And it may not be right in front of you as soon as you start thinking about it. You know, I'll give you a perfect example. It's like when we knew Dodd-Frank was coming, right? I'm sitting there thinking over and over again in my head, like, okay, how do I continue doing business as usual and not be put out of business because of what we know this law is going to be? You know, how do we do that? And so 9 months talking to attorneys, talking to CPAs, talking to other investors, talking to anybody and everybody, trying to figure out, okay, how do I maintain compliance with Dodd-Frank and continue doing business, right? And it was elusive. It just kept eluding me. And I was frustrated beyond belief because I'm smarter than this. I know there has to be a way to do it, right? We can improvise, we adapt, we overcome. How do we do that? It's not I can't, it's how can I? How can I do that? And I finally realized one day I was asking the wrong question. And this is why I always suggest you guys to ask the opposite question. Okay? Whatever you're trying to accomplish, sometimes what you need to do is ask the opposite question. And that's what I ended up doing. This is the thing that geniuses do. Okay? This is the thing that geniuses do because it helps ignite, you know, the synapses in your brain to start firing and start critically thinking in a different way. And so I said, okay, well, maybe I'm asking the wrong question. Maybe the question is not how can I continue doing business and maintain compliance with Dodd-Frank, but how can I continue doing business and not maintain compliance with Dodd-Frank? And that was the question that I needed to have answered. And then it hit me like a lightning bolt. That genius moment, bam, just like that. I got it. Okay, I got it. But that would have never happened had I not gone through that process to think, right? Subconscious brain working on this, talking to people, right? Asking the opposite question, not trying to, like I said, because what I was doing when I was asking the first question was what everybody does. Trying to force that square peg in the round hole. It says, no, 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 you can't do these things. Okay, well, how can I do those things and maintain compliance? That was wrong question, okay? I'm like everybody else, like the masses, trying to force that square peg in the round hole because of what I want. It was a wrong question. So I switched the question around. How can I not do that? And bam, like a lightning bolt, okay, like a flash. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe it took me this long to figure this one out. And there it was, okay? That genius moment, just like that. And you guys can do the exact same thing, okay? You guys can do the exact same thing. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to review this real quick, and then we're going to end this up here in a second on the last slide. So we talked about today mindset, motivation, and we haven't talked about money yet, but we're going to get there in a second. So you're going to have to shift your mindset, okay? Let's re-talk about this. This is your mantra. This is what you have to say. You have to realize. You have to internalize. You have to believe. If it's to be, it's up to me, okay? It's up to you, okay? If it's going to happen, if you want that Ferrari, if you want that new mansion, if you want the lifestyle to go to the beach, if you want to be able to work from an iPhone anywhere and generate multiple streams, if you want those things, it's entirely up to you. You got the resources. You got a 24/7 global cash register called the internet. Okay? People are making millions on this every single day. People that are not as smart as you, not as qualified as you, don't have the life experience that you have, but they're doing it for the reasons that I'm showing you right now. Okay? So you can do, have, and be anything you want, but you're going to have to make a decision and then take massive action. Okay? We covered this. Everything worthwhile in life is hard. We accept that. It is what it is. Okay? This is no longer this right here. Okay? This whole thing, You understand this? This right here is no longer your nemesis. Okay? This no longer has power or authority over you. Do you understand that? It no longer has power and authority over you because you understand it for what it is. Okay? It's only hard right now because you're not good at it. But we're going to get good at it, and it's not going to be hard. And then you're going to be able to hit that golf ball on the par 3, right on the green, 3 feet from the cup. Okay? Can't do that day one. But if you understand it for what it is, and you follow along with what we're talking to you about right now, you set your goal, take your daily action plan, you control your brain, you practice, you get educated, then you'll be able to do that. Okay? All right, again, never, 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 never. You have to control the dialogue, the inner monologue, okay? It's never I can't, it's always how can I. Always how can I, okay? I'm going to tell you guys a real quick story here that's true. So Wendy and I got together, this is 1998, June of 1998, and when we finally ended up moving in together, I was living in, if you guys got kids, plug through this for a second. So in this shitbox quadruplex that I'd been living in for years when I was broke and making no money, that was running me about $350 a month. Okay, it's quadruplex, and you guys understand what that is. And I don't know what the square footage was, probably 700-800 square feet. It was 2-bedroom. It wasn't very big, but it was close to 200 in Ocala, Florida, if you guys know where that's at, right behind the Sam's Club. It's like a drug war zone now. That's how bad this place is now. But nonetheless, when we talk about your brain and your subconscious mind and how things actually function in real life, here's what happens because you have this mindset, okay, especially when you're making money. And I went from making, like 35 grand a year to like 120 grand overnight, okay? So that's a big shift, especially when you're newer. I was like 26 or 27. And so there's this absolute brand new construction apartment complex going in a place called Hale Plantation in Gainesville, Florida. Hale Plantation is it's an absolutely, at the time anyway, I don't know what it looks like now, but gorgeous master plan community, just absolutely fantastic. Private golf club, the whole 9 yards. I mean, just like all people made money. This was like the premier place to live in Gainesville. Well, they had built and were building an apartment complex there to help house the people that were buying the new construction homes so they could go ahead and close. They could sell their other homes wherever they were. They had a place to live for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, whatever, in these brand new apartments that were right on the golf course, right? So we go through this thing, and absolutely gorgeous. Everything's brand new. Pick the colors, pick the patterns for the wallpaper, the whole nine. I mean, just gorgeous right there on the 14th green. Literally, right on our deck, and we're like sitting there watching guys on tour when the tourists came through. Hit right there. I mean, like right below where our house was. Matter of fact, yeah, this is a funny story. So that's for one day. And Emmett Smith, if you guys know Emmett Smith, he used to play for Florida. He was back in town after he won all the Super Bowls with Dallas. He was actually out there in the backyard on the 14th green playing one day. So anyway, so we got to this place, and so it's like $350, and the price of this brand new apartment on the golf course was, I think it was $1150 a month. Okay, $1150 a month. So I go through this place, and I'm making money. I got no problem. I mean, hell, I made like 18 grand, and it was like more than my mother had made that year. I made 18 grand in like 1 month in February of 1999, I guess it was. And I walk through this place, and I got no expenses. Okay, I mean, like I own my car free and clear. I have zero expenses. My expenses total less than $1,000 a month with food, groceries, utilities, the $350 quadruplex payment, whatever. I got no expenses, so I got money, liquidity, everything. I go through this place. It's like $1150 a month, and I'm like, I remember like this overwhelming feeling. It just like literally took over me, like took my breath away when I was in this place. And I know you guys have dealt with this too. And tell me if you have. Maybe you haven't. I don't know. But I went through this thing. I'm like, almost couldn't breathe. I'm like, what are you doing here, right? It's like this brand new, gorgeous, like 26 or 27 years old, brand new, gorgeous apartment on the golf course, like so far outside my station in life up until that point in time, right? So far outside that station, okay? Because I'm, came from the wrong side in Ocala, and here I moved this little beater quadruplex, and like, what are you doing here, right? You don't belong here, right? You're not worthy of this. This is like the genie talking to me, like the devil, the demons talking to me as I walk through this place, right? I'm telling you, it's like I got literally like, it's like Mike Tyson just hit me right in the heart, you know, like take your breath away. Like can't even breathe. Like what the hell? It was like overwhelming. And so I took a couple breaths. I mean, I remember it's like it was yesterday because it was like that turning point. And you guys, if you haven't come across this yet, if it ever happens to you, I'm going to tell you exactly what you have to do if you want things better in your life. Because the devil's working on you all the time, right? The devil's working on you all the time with limitations and lack and everything else. And it's like, okay. So I had to take a pause. I said, okay. I'm walking through this place looking at it. I'm like, man, it'd be fantastic to live here. And I'm like, wait a second. You know, I know what I just made last month, right? And I know how much money I got. And I was like, if I don't deserve this, who does? Right? I can afford this. I can pay for this. It's not a problem. It's not even a drop in the bucket over, you know, basically if you wanted to look at it, it was like going to be, what is it, a $700 or $800 increase over and above what I had been making or what I had been paying for a house, for housing. Not a big deal. Right? We're spending more than that going out to dinner. But that overwhelming, when I went in there, I'm like, you know, this is the stuff that you get beat into you as kids, right? You're not worthy, right? That's not who we are, right? You know, we're not those kinds of people. We're not rich people, right? Money doesn't grow on trees, blah, blah, blah. All this negative stuff that you told as a kid. And it hit me, and I was just like, you know, what am I doing here? Right? What am I doing here? I don't deserve this. I'm not worthy of this. You know, I'm used to my station here, over here, my little comfort zone station of lack and poverty and you know, this low end. That's what I've known my entire life. What am I doing here, right? And I'm just telling you, that happens, okay? You got to push through it. You got to push through it. And I finally said, you know what? I took it back. And I said, okay, I know what my finances are. I know this stuff. And if I don't deserve this, who does? Right? Why am I not this person that deserves this? And boom, signed on the dotted line, moved in, became the transition, turning point, okay? Shortly thereafter, got the dream vehicle that I wanted. It was a Land Cruiser. And that became that leveling up, okay? Leveling up big time in my life. But it's because I got a hold of my brain, okay? And I got a whole new mindset. I do deserve this. You guys need to do the exact same thing. When you see this $1 million car here on the screen, if you're attracted to these types of things, you do deserve it, okay? And I've lived in, you know, multi-million-dollar houses. Why? Because my mindset is I do deserve this, right? Because I'm willing to work for it, right? I'm worthy. I am worthy. You have to tell yourself these things. You need to understand that because you are, if you will do all these other things I just showed you and told you, okay? You're going to have to get control of your brain. You're going to have to prove yourself worthy. You're going to have to set your goals. You're going to have to set your how to meet an elephant plan. Take your daily actions, okay, to make yourself worthy. You're going to have to get control of that subconscious mind. And if you can do those things, then you become worthy, okay? So I challenge you to become worthy of greatness, to become worthy of wealth, to become worthy of everything that you desire. This isn't about being materialistic, so don't misunderstand that. Okay? It's about you building your self-worth, motivating yourself to do what's necessary to get what you want so you don't live that life of mediocrity, okay? That life of quiet desperation. Everybody, if you guys don't know this, the way the subconscious brain works is everybody has a mental station in life, okay? You have something, for me, at that time, it was a $350 a month quadruplex, which is, you know, realistically the best thing I'd ever lived in. At the age of, whatever it was, 26 or 27. Okay. And that was my mental station. Okay. That's, that's what resonated. And in order to level up, you're going to have to break free mentally of what that is and say, okay, I am worthy of this, and I will go get this, and I will make this happen because I am worthy. Okay. So you guys need to understand that for what it is. This is not a bunch of psychological mumbo jumbo. This is reality. This is how your brain works. Most people can't envision making $100,000 a year, much less making $100,000 in a month. Much less, oh, here we go, having the opportunity. We've got right now, just with the deals that we're actively working on, there's over $100,000 out there and available right now in our joint venture deals, okay, where we already have buyers that have paid cash for us to buy them a home. We already have sellers that have contracted with us so we can resell those homes. There's over $100,000 in cash available right now, today, for each and every one of you, okay, if you are worthy. Are you worthy of that? Do you want a piece of that? It's up for grabs right now. Do you believe? Would that change your life? You're going to take action, okay? What are you going to do when it gets hard? Okay, when it's hard, you get told no, right? You get told no. You defeated? Are you defeated, or are you worthy? And you're going to move on. And we're moving on to the next phone call. And we're going to increase and improve our skills so that, we go from it being hard and totally whiffing that ball and missing the green and hitting the ball over into the water. We're going to keep swinging. We're going to keep swinging, practice, practice, practice until we hit it on the green. Okay? That's what you're supposed to be doing. That's what you need to be doing. That's what you have to be doing. But you have to be worthy. Okay? Now, what I want you guys to do is I want you to envision me sending you a $25,000 wire this week. Okay? 25 grand this week. I want you to envision that. Think about that. Okay? When you talk about how you train your subconscious brain, how you get what you want, how you use the law of attraction, you have to be able to see it. Okay? You've heard this thing, I'll believe it when I see it. No, that's backwards. I'll see it when I believe it. Okay? I'll see it when I believe it. I want you to see it. Okay? You guys need to see it. Think about that. I want you guys to close your eyes right now. Close your eyes. You just envision this for a second. I send you a $25,000 wire this week. What does that feel like? Okay? You check your online bank account, bam, 25 grand. What happens next? Internalize this feeling, internalize this experience. What happens next? You celebrate with your wife or husband, girlfriend, boyfriend, family member, friend, right? You go buy something, you treat yourself to something, nice dinner, nice bottle of wine, nice beer, nice bourbon, go to the spa, go play golf, go to a race car track and test out a Lamborghini. What are you doing? Okay, what is that experience for you? Okay, think through that process, because if you can see it, you can believe it, and if you can believe it, you can achieve it. Okay? So think about that for a second. What does that look like? What does that feel like? How does that impact your life? And then let's make that happen. Okay? Because we have these deals. They're ready to go. Okay? We can get wires this week. There's no reason why we can't send everybody that's on this webinar today a wire this week. We've got plenty of houses. We've got plenty of buyers. We've got plenty of joint venture partners. But you got to go all in. Okay? And by all in, I'm talking about, we got to go back here. Where are we at? Where's this at? Okay? You got to go all in with yourself and become worthy. Okay? Become important enough to get control of your subconscious brain. Because like I said, if you don't do it, the media is going to do it for you. Okay? That's not what you want. The media will absolutely do it for you. Here, let's take a look. Go through all the crazy stuff that's out there. What are they talking about today? What's the whole negative syndrome they're talking about today? Normally, okay, so we got the big solar eclipse thing. So, oh, good, people die in a boat wreck. Fantastic. That's wonderful. How does that impact my life? I'm sorry that happened. Don't want that to be the case, but it doesn't really impact my life one way or the other. Okay, Chicago Cubs, meaningless. Does nothing for me. Okay, right? The U.S. scales back visa services in Russia after Putin cuts its staff. What does that do for us? Nothing. Okay, total waste of time. Tissue wants to replace the Confederate monument. Okay, I don't care about what. This is not impacting my life. It's not impacting your life either. Okay, does that make sense? So you go over here and you see this stuff. This is why I don't ever do this. I don't watch the news. I watch very, very little TV. Okay, so again, we got the whole thing with the eclipse going on. But this is all constant. It's all negativity. Okay, all negativity. All day long. CNN, constantly negative news. Okay? North Korea warns of merciless strike. Oh, I'm so terrified of North Korea's merciless strike. Really? What? Does that make sense? Okay, it's all nonsense. So just stay away from it. Okay? That's not how you need to focus on what you can do for your family right now so you can take control. All this other stuff that's out there, whatever's on the news, there's nothing you can do about it. Okay? So just don't even focus on that stuff. Focus on how you can improve your life, your family's life, your life going forward. And the way that you're going to do that is by getting control of your subconscious brain today, getting your goals, setting your action plan, taking action, doing your daily mantra. Okay? Well, mantra's the right word, but whatever. You got to find what resonates with you. If it's to be, it's up to me. Okay? That's self-empowering. Self-empowering. If it's to be, it's up to me. Okay? And guess what? I can do it. Because I can have and be anything that I want. I simply have to follow the steps I just laid out for you. You talk about success and the secrets to success and the steps to success. I just laid it out. Now, probably won't be appreciated because this thing was a free webinar. Probably sounds like psychobabble to a lot of people. But what do you think successful people do? What do you think they know that you don't know? Really? Okay, I'm telling you, this is what it is. This is what they know that you don't know. Some of you don't know. Okay? Or you do know and you haven't acted on, or you haven't continued to act on. This is what they know. So I hope this is beneficial for you guys. I really hope it does help, because I'm telling you, this has made an unbelievable impact on my life. Now, one thing too, I will tell you this. It's not always easy. We talked about before, everything worthwhile in life is hard. It's not always easy. Things happen, bad things happen, things don't go the way you want them to, whatever, and it's easy to get downtrodden and whatever, okay? But there are other things that you can do. As an example, Wendy has and I can't, here, so I can find it real quick. I got a bookmark. NeuroGym. If you guys don't know about NeuroGym, I'll get you a link to this, okay? They do, I don't know if I'm saying this the right way. I think it's oral programming. And so essentially what happens here is you're going to go through, a sequence of listening to these different things depending on what you're trying to do. If it's winning the game of money, mastering your mindset, having it all, weight loss, whatever. And it takes you through and implants in your brain, in your subconscious, and then they hit you with, what's the word I'm looking for? It is, I'm so frustrated. It's not music. I guess it's music, but it's at the right frequency, okay, to help hit the right parts of your brain. Let's see if I can find it on here so I can tell you the exact terminology because it's escaping me. All right, what is it? They call it inner size, which is really good. Power, here we go, power within you. Where did I hear that before? What do they call this thing? I feel like an idiot for pulling this up. I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, when you listen to it, okay, the whole point of this thing is to work to start reprogramming your brain, okay, to hit you with the right frequencies because you're bombarded constantly with the wrong frequencies daily, okay, from all the stuff that's on, from the influence of the media and everything else. And they're daily meditations that you can go through and just recenter, refocus, have if you're not to the point yet where you can tell yourself through your daily mantras the right thing, you know, you got to listen. I can't emphasize this enough, and I don't know if you guys are buying into this or not. If you're not, that's fine too. But I can tell you that if you listen to what I'm telling you, and you would tell yourself what you need to hear, because most people are not going to tell you what you need to hear. By what you need to hear, I'm talking about positivity. I'm talking about personal development and reinforcement. Okay. You know, and how often have you ever told yourself, I am worthy, right? Or I can do it. There's nothing I can't accomplish, right? And you tell yourselves these things over and over and over again. And just like working out with weights, what that does to your muscles, this is what that does to your brain, okay? To your psyche, to your subconscious mind. It builds it up. You're building up that brain muscle. And that's what you have to do. And most people never work on their brains, okay, their subconscious mind. They work on the conscious sometimes by reading something and learning something. But if we took a survey and we followed you around all day, every day, for a day, a week, a month, a year, what would you say the percentage of time is that you provide to your brain for things that are not benefiting you in any way versus education or versus reprogramming yourself for positivity, for confidence, okay, for action, for winning? Most people don't do that. Why? It's easier to just turn on, I don't even know what's on TV anymore, whatever the Game of Thrones or whatever. It's easier just to turn that on and mind mush out to it, right? That's a lot easier than going through and being a focused, centered individual and saying, hey, I am worth it. I'm worthy of this, okay? And I want to get to this next level. I want to level up. And so to do that, I'm going to work out my brain, okay? I'm going to help my brain, because your brain needs lots of help because it is attacked constantly, okay? Your bodies are being attacked constantly too with all the poison crap they've got out there, which is why you have to be cognizant of that as well, because that can in fact impact your psychological and emotional abilities and everything else. But right now we're just focusing on the brain. Most of you have never worked on your brain. I'm going to take a while, because if you have, you know, say so, put something over here in the question box. If you've ever actively done anything to help your subconscious mind, definitely let me know, because I don't know very many people that have. Okay, and I can't tell you how powerful it is if you can actually do that. Okay, so guys, listen, understand, the only person that dictates your worthiness is you. Right? You're going to have to do that. You're going to have to determine that you're worthy. Do that today. Don't let another second go by. Do that today. Don't click on another stupid thing on Facebook. Take a moment after this webinar and pause, okay? And just take a moment to, I don't know if meditate is the right word, but just take a moment to just clear your brain, okay? Clear the mechanism. Close your eyes. Think about all of your self-limiting beliefs. Okay, what are they? Right, I can never make that amount of money. I can never live in a house like that. I can never do this. I can never do that. Blah blah blah, and get them out. Just get rid of them. And you're going to do that by reversing those. I am worth that mansion. I am worth, and I can have that car. And I am worth that beautiful man or woman that I want to be with. And I'm worth, you know, all of these things. Okay, and I can have all those things. And the way that I'm going to get all those things is exactly what I just laid out for you. Okay. So your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to take control of your life. And the way that you're going to do that right now is by getting a hold of your inner monologue, your inner dialogue, retraining your brain, getting your goals down and your action plans, and then moving in the direction of your dreams. Because if it's to be, it's up to me. And for you, it's the same thing. How bad do you want it? Is it worth it? Or are you going to quit? Or are you worth it? Or are you going to quit? That's the question you got to ask yourself. I can't answer it for you. I know my answer for myself. Okay, I know my answer when I was faced with feeling not worthy. Okay, so hopefully that will help you guys get motivated, get your mind right, and we can go out there and attack, and we can truly, genuinely start changing your lives, okay? All right, we've gone way over here once again. I hope this helps you guys. Other than that, let's go out there and get them. If you guys are not aware of the deals that we've got, hit us up on Facebook, and we'll make sure that everything gets posted out so that if you have an opportunity to fit the other piece of the puzzle for what we need, we can get you guys done and paid, and I can send somebody a $25,000 wire, because nothing would make me happier, truly. Okay? So you guys have a great day, and I'll catch you next time.